Okay, just a brief overview of upgrades to the Airstream's water stuff. So this is my 71 Safari. Way back when it was built, the city water inlet was back there by the bumper in a copper pipe coming in. And you'd hook up a hose back there. And this was the freshwater fill for the tank. And so I'm keeping this freshwater fill. I'm redoing all of the interior plumbing. I am keeping the original freshwater tank. It was pressure tested when I bought the trailer. So right here is the kitchen on the other side of this wall. And under the kitchen cabinet was the big furnace. That furnace had two vents that came out here. It was actually one big vent cover. And I had planned on replacing this shore power inlet and moving it back there somewhere closer to the panel. But then I realized there was a perfectly cut 2 3/4 inch hole that fit this exactly for this Marinco style shore power inlet. And then I went and bought 2 of these Aquar RV water inlet kits that are flush mount. And I have the adapter in here. This end just threads onto the hose. Comes with its own built-in shutoff. And what's cool is you can do it one-handed even. Just pop it in. Oops. There it is. Pop it back out. And it's flush mounted, and so you're not sitting here messing around with hose fittings and such, and so you just leave this end threaded to your hose, and then you only have to thread onto the pedestal. Now this does not come with a check valve, so this can go water in or water out. So I bought 2. So on the other side of the trailer, I'm going to install the second one here. And that will be a water outlet for a foot shower and a portable hot water system that I'm going to buy. It's called a Camplux. So that's the outside. I've got everything consolidated here. So tank fill is going to remain there, and then new freshwater inlet and new shore power inlet. Walk around here, and please excuse the mess. This is a project in progress, very much, and I only get to work on it a couple hours a week at night, so I have not had a good chance to really clean up as much as I'd like. But here's what I'm dealing with. Here is the original kitchen area, and when I bought it, everything worked. Of course, I had the rear frame repair that presented itself on the trip home, so I had to go ahead and rip stuff apart before I had wanted to. I did replace this faucet. It was a real job. I'm not sure I would do it again if I was trying to keep the cabinet in place. But it's done now. And so under here, very messy right now, but it will get tidied up. This is over here is where the furnace was. I cut a backing plate to hold the 2 inlets. You can see the back of the water inlet. And that's just a hose barb to a 1/2 inch NBT threaded pipe. I got a 5-pack of those on Amazon. I used this 1/2 inch reinforced vinyl hose for fresh water. I just need to trim it to size once I'm confident it's in exactly the right spot. And that will just go from up there over to that right there. And then here's the new 12-volt pump. I bought this Young Tree 12-volt pump off Amazon. It's one of the cheap Chinese knockoffs, but it seems like it's working okay. It does what I want it to so far. I have not had a chance to really run everything through its paces yet. Let's see if I can find a pointer device. It's a nice long screwdriver pointer. All right, this back here is where the freshwater tank fill is. So that comes to here. This elbow, hose clamp, and black pipe are original, and I think I'm just going to leave them. That black pipe, black hose that connected here over was completely split. So I bought on Amazon this to replace it. It is a long piece, and you can cut it in these white sections in the middle. Spiral around, and it's made for fresh water. So I will cut that and connect that in down here, you can see there's actually 2 holes that go right through. There were a bunch of pipes and valves, and I just ripped them all out. I think there were 2, one for the freshwater tank drain and one for the hot water tank drain. And I am not going to put a traditional hot water system in this. I'm going to get a Camplux portable hot water heater, and I'm only going to take outdoor showers. But I am probably just going to plumb in some pieces of PEX underneath here so that if in the future I wanted to come back and add a hot water heater, at least the pipes would be run. And I would just have to add a few connections. And let's see, what else do we have here? We have here 4 wires for the tank level sensors, which may still work if I can figure out where they go. Up here on the second shelf, there's a bunch more wires to figure out. Several of these were abandoned from the furnace control, so I have to see if any of them work. If some of them are not furnace control wires, if any of them are actually the other end of this bundle, so that I can hook them back up to the cool control panel up there. It would be nice to have that functional, even if it's just for show. Underneath here is just the fitting from the sink. I bought a PEX fitting that has a shutoff valve on it that hooks into the sink fitting. That is a very cheap sink off Amazon with very low quality attachments. I'm using 1/2-inch PEX A, the kind that you don't need to expand. I just use white because I only have one color and some of it might be visible. That piece sticking up there is a PEX T with a thread on one end, and then that is threaded to a one-way valve. So water will come in from here, go into the tank, and it will come back out from the tank through this. This is a steel reinforced, I believe it's 5/8, I'll check, piece of hose. This is a shutoff system, just a piece of hose that I can stick into a bottle of antifreeze for when I want to winterize it. It'll come through here, through the pump, and I should probably have spent the money on an accumulator system, which will even out the flow and make it quieter, but instead I decided to spend a few bucks on this Camco water pipe silencing kit. It actually came with one for each side, but since I have a flexible hose on that side, I felt like I didn't need another one on this side, so I've got one here. We'll see if it keeps it quiet enough, and if not, I'll pull it out and put an accumulator in. So water is coming from the tanks this way. This is a one-way valve that will keep water from flowing back in this direction from city water. This T sends water from the tank. It will go up into the kitchen sink or over into the bathroom sink, which is the only other water device I have because I'm using a composting toilet and there's no hot water heater. This is another one-way valve. It will come from over here through this hose when it's all hooked up, and that hose will connect to the city water. The city water will again send water up here, and it'll get to this one-way valve and not be able to fill the freshwater tank, which is what you don't want to have happen. These black hoses here are vents that connect to a single outlet for the freshwater fill, and they're original. I'm going to try them out and see if they work. If they don't leak and cause me problems, I'm just going to leave them. This black wire along the wall here is the new shore power cord. I just need to tidy that installation up and put some cable connections to the subfloor there. And so just a little bit of PEX fittings. I've got a handful. It took me a while to figure it all out. And then once it's all settled and final, I'm going to secure it better. And then we'll run one more piece of PEX off of there. And it will just run over here, underneath here. There'll be 1 L, 2 L's, 3 L's, 4 L's, and then around to the sink, which will be back here. There'll be a new bathroom vanity right here. And then I'm going to carry it off a little further, and somewhere about here I'm going to put in that other Aquor device that I showed you, the port, and that will be a fresh water out, so I can quick connect a shower or a outdoor hot water heater there. I'm also going to have a quick connect propane line out there, so I can run the hot water heater outside. So I don't need an indoor shower. This is a summertime vehicle. It's only for weekends, maybe a week at most. Usually we'll be at campgrounds that have showers. So I didn't really need to go crazy with that build and save all that money and weight and design decisions and all that stuff. Underneath here, under the subfloor, I put in, hard to see, but that is a massive 40-gallon black tank, or gray tank, sorry, because I'm going to have a composting toilet. And so the only two things that will feed it will be the bathroom sink, which will come in down here. And then from the kitchen originally just drained to the outlet, essentially the ground. There was no gray water tank at all. So I cut the kitchen drain here. This is a 6-inch extender for a bathroom sink that converts from 1/4 to 1/2, which I needed to make this piece work. I just needed a flexible hose to get to my 12-volt shower pump here. And I have one more piece here, just 1.5 to 1.25 inch rubber boot that will connect these two. I've already tried it out, but I had to scavenge it for another project inside the house. So this just sends water into this cheap Seaflow shower bilge pump. This is a marine pump. I think I paid like $60 for this, so I've tested it out and it was working and no leaks. Water comes from the sink in here, fills up to a certain level, and then this ejects it that way, and through this, I want to say that's a 3/4 inch diameter hose, and I have a fitting that will bring it right into the top of the tank. It's going to come in right this is the original hole that was cut in this frame for the old hose connections, or the old drainage system, so I'm just going to reuse it. And that is essentially the top of the tank right there, right where my hand is. So it's going to fit in there with a fitting. And that's it. A nice, simple system. Only took me 12 minutes to explain. That's how simple it is. If there are questions about it, let me know, and I will try and answer them. One thing I have not figured out yet is draining the freshwater tank completely. There does not seem to have been a low point drain here, and since I'm reusing this tank, I don't have a good way to add one. I guess I will just run it dry through the pump. It seems like that's what they did originally. That's why they had all those valves and holes in the floor here. So rather than do that, I think I'll just run it through the sink. So maybe, since I have the ability to winterize following that, it should be okay. Not necessarily my preferred method, but unless I was to pull the tank and somehow spin a new fitting on and run it through the bottom of the trailer, I don't know what else to do for a low point drain. So that's it. A very simple freshwater system. No hot water at all, no flush toilet. Just city water in, fresh water in, 2 cold water sinks, and a quick connect port over there.